normal play, but if they have really good headphones, they can actually hear you pretty well. It's not muffling your sound completely, and so you can't really be like reckless. Like you have to still be really careful. But I think Caveira will be literally like the definition of a pump stomper because against pro teams, it's going to be first harder to survive roaming. Like they're just going to drone you and 5-man hunt you. It's going to be harder to isolate that guy, kill him without a headshot. Like without him killing you first, because headshots are really important. And then get that interrogation and then get kills with that interrogation, because if they're smart, they're just going to know that Caveira downed someone. They're going to group up, pre-fire the common angles, get out of there. And so it's going to buy a lot of time at pro level, but I don't think it's going to be game breaking. But in casual, like if you have a player that's really good and he plays Caveira and he can, roam pretty well, it's definitely going to be like crazy, and I can't wait to play Caveira like in ranked.
Yeah, she's going to punish isolated attackers really hard.
They're definitely going to be an operator that causes a lot of havoc on a team. But I know just from talking with people and hearing about the DLC coming out that people, I don't want people to get the wrong idea that it's going to be so overpowered. I mean, as we saw in the demonstration, it's not an outline of the player. It's just an icon above their head that flashes where they are. So I feel like the developers, including yourself, have really taken the time to understand what makes an operator overpowered and tried to evade that and not head that direction and try to make it as balanced as possible.
Right.
And of course, just wanted to say that in terms of tweaking, obviously we do a lot of play sessions internally, so we try to tweak things as best we can before releasing. Of course, we can be wrong, and typically like the timing of the interrogation itself or how long it reveals people, that kind of thing we can absolutely tweak. So if we see like with our gameplay stats that it's really overpowered, we'll tweak it.
Yeah. And this time around, we really tried to like step up our pre-game. Basically, we took some opportunities to invite pro gamers to the studio in advance, people that were around the Montreal studio, so they gave us first feedback.
Yeah.
Then we even did a test with the pro gamers in our private secret subreddit with the pro gamers, so they got to give more feedback to us, and you were in it, and it's really useful to us. How did you feel it impacted you in your job?
It's incredible because our timelines are pretty short. Like we have to produce content really fast to deliver every time on time for the new seasons, which is both exciting and frightening. And getting the opinion of people like you guys before we can release the content, and from the subreddit, the pro subreddit, like you said, it's invaluable for us. It's like getting playtests from experts, and it doesn't necessarily mean that what we're going to release is going to be perfect, but it's going to be much better than if we didn't take the time to do that.
And I really like doing it, and I love the game, and if I can help you guys, then yeah, sure, I'll do it. Like I really want the game to do well, and like I'm really happy as of right now. Like the two operators, I think they're fine. Like I said, Caveira might be a little too strong if it's like a top player playing against casuals, but like that's true for every operator. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll make sure to look at the stats and see how the community feels about it, and I'm confident we'll find the right balance.
Yeah, yeah, and I see the operators, both of them, being very similar to Frost and Buck in the sense that they're going to be played all the time for the first few weeks, but then people are going to realize that they're situational, just like almost every other operator is, and so they're not going to be, at least for the start, they're not going to be a must pick. Or towards the pro league, you'll get to see them being used, but they're going to be situational per map, and that's what I think is going to be a good operator, not one that's as a must pick.
Let's talk a little bit about our new features. So I'd like us to show on screen the footage of our new tactical realism game mode that will be available in custom games. Basically what it is our response to what we promised to the community a while back. We said we'd have a hardcore mode because people wanted it. We iterated on it, and finally we're ready to show you, as you can see on screen, a first version of the tactical realism mode. You're going to be able to play it in custom games only, because for us right now it's in beta, and we want to have your feedback, we want to improve on it, and we're pretty stoked about it. I'll let you guys talk about it a little bit, and then I'll fill you in if there's anything else that I can reveal about this mode.
So So it's really brutal because like you don't get outlines of teammates, and so you have to like in that split second where you turn that corner and you see that guy pointing his gun at you, you have to know if it's a teammate or not. And if it's a teammate, you have to literally scream like teammate, right? Like we tried to play it.
Friendly.
Yeah, like we would see so much team kill.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's really hard because now you have to not only call out the enemy position, like oh yeah, there's two kitchen. No, like there's two teammates in kitchen. Like, watch out! I see you're coming. Like, I see with the camera, you're coming into kitchen. Don't shoot. It's tough. It's really tough. It might seem like a lot easier than it is, but yeah, when you start playing it, you realize how much you depend on that, like on those icons and those outlines and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I really loved about this game was the strategy and the communication piece. And if people thought that the game desired communication or the communication part was necessary in ranked in the current game mode, it's going to be 10 times more in this tactical game mode.
For sure.
And I mean, you've got like Serenity said, you have no outlines. The only thing you have to identify your team is just the operator itself, and you have a white lettered name above their head.
If you point at
Just
them,
when
only
you
if
look-
you point
It's
at them.
only if you point at them. You don't see where the diffuser is or
Yeah.
where the bomb is. You don't know if you killed anyone. So if
Yeah,
you
you have
down
to
someone
look
or
at the
killed
body.
anyone,
Yeah, the kill confirmation not being there like changes entirely the mechanic because usually you get this score event where you pretty much know if someone is done or at least if he got killed. But this time it's like you don't even know if the guy is actually dead. So you have to jump
Yeah.
and you have to confirm the kill yourself by watching it, or you might wait for the end of the round before having any idea of who's,
Yeah.
who's remaining and who's even
And
alive.
then
So
you have
Yeah.
to keep count of like how many operators are dead because
you
it
don't even
changes
know
everything,
yeah,
right?
I mean, you don't see the scoreboard or the operators at the top of the screen, so you don't even know if you're the last one alive on your own team.
Yeah, they have to
it's-
tell you.
It's,
And,
it's
you know,
really a unique gameplay.
And I like how like you have to count the amount of enemies that are dead, but that's really tough because sometimes you might be at the other end of the map, and someone gets like capcanned, and you hear the explosion. You're like, did I get one? Did I get two? Or C4s? C4s are really tough because usually you just take cover, you chug that C4 to Blitz, and then Blitz blows up. You see the points, but because you don't see the points, Blitz might be still alive, and so you have to hear, or you just charge in and Blitz is still alive and he flashes and you're dead, right? So like C4 is really hard to use on this game mode. Yeah.
And one more thing is that we also did the ammo management system, like people were asking for.
Good
It
point.
took quite a bit of iteration, but we finally think we got it right. You give us your feedback on the subreddit and the forums. But basically, you guys tried it. Does anyone want to comment on that, the new ammo management?
It's tough. You have to pay attention to something you're not used to pay attention at all. Like in this game, you have a lot of like. Sometimes I pay attention to like some ammo. For example, like I know Jaeger has a lot of bullets, so he can make a lot of murder holes. But like counting, like okay, Mag 4 has like half the bullets in there. Like that's a lot to think about with everything that's going on in the game. So yeah, it's really tough. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Pretty intense.
the way it was, or at least the way that I saw it, was that your primary magazine, the one you're using, shows the number of bullets in it.
Yeah.
But now on the side, it doesn't say you've got 240 bullets left. You have 4 magazines. So just like Serenity said, now it's coming to the fact that you need to realize how many times have you reloaded.
And then you get back to that clip. So
Yep.
like if you reloaded at a wrong timing, then you might
You're
be in a
back to 3
terrible
bullets.
position. Yeah.
That's a really unique feature that a lot of games don't have. And so I'm curious how it's going to play out and how it's
Yeah.
going to how
I think,
teams are going to adapt to it.
Old school Raven Shield fans should be pleased.
I think so.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the other things. What were the highlights for you? I know you read in advance the patch notes, so you can maybe drop some information here about improvements or even bug fixes.
Yeah, so one of the things that I really like, I like the fact that when you're in the operator selection screen, you've readied up, your team is readied up, you're able to identify the entire loadout of all of your teammates.
Yes.
So you can see the weapons they've chosen, the gadgets they've chosen, and maybe they were picking breach charges instead of whatever, to C4 or nades. And all that stuff is what is going to make a team more effective. You're able to now say, okay, you're bringing smokes. We don't need smokes anymore. We need some frag grenades.
Yeah, especially in casual play, it's going to be easier to adapt to what the team needs.
Yep.
Because I guess that in pro plays, obviously everyone knows what everyone is taking. But in
Right.
casual, I think like if you see that everyone is already taking bridge charges, you can go for the smokes or the stunts, and
Yep.
it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's really important because like so many times in ranked, like not pro but like casual ranked, everybody runs stuns. I don't know why, but like everybody likes stuns now, and so it's really rare that you get to see like someone using breaching charges. So that's great to know. And also, you can actually drop the diffuser now in the loading
In
screen,
ranked.
and someone can pick it up. So if your strat is to have like the diffuser spawn somewhere safe, and you have 4 guys storming the half of the building, you can do that. Like it's great. It's not a gamble anymore, because sometimes in the Pro League they would have to like gamble a little bit, and then if the diffuser respawned on the wrong side of the map,
Yeah.
they would have to like repel on the top of the building and waste like 30 seconds, which is a lot in ESL. So.
They'd have to make a meetup time. And
Right.
with this new feature, I know it's a highly anticipated request that a lot of the semi-pro and pro league teams have made, saying we want to build strategies, but there's still this unknown factor on who's going to get the
a little
diffuser.
bit of randomness.
So now I think this is going to allow the attacking team to create even better strategies and allow them to get inside quicker, make that gameplay faster. And I think this is a great step in that direction.
What about you, JB? Any favorites that were not revealed yet?
I mean, it's a small detail, but I like the fact that on the compass, the north is now indicated with the red thing. Because to be honest with you, like every time I was checking the compass, it always took me like a good second to check where the north was. So it's just like it felt like a bit of lost time, and it feels more efficient now.
Yeah, and we also reworked the HUD, and we have a lot more improvements, which you're going to be able to find all about as soon as the patch notes come out, right before the Operation Skull Rain comes out, which is on August 2nd. And we're gonna wrap up this panel. Let's talk a little bit about prediction for the Pro League. Who do you think is gonna take it? Any pick?
So when we were playing some of the new content, we were playing it all, and we had some of the members from each of the Pro League teams come and play with us. I saw some good stuff from Denial. I saw some great gameplay from them, even though they were playing on PC. You could definitely tell they knew their stuff. Now, as for Strictly Business, I'm hoping it becomes a great show. I mean, we saw at the end of both semifinals how they both went to overtime. 5-5 went down to the wire, and even one of them was overtime on a 1v1 with diffuser planted.
that's pretty
So
good.
it was really intense to watch, and I'm hoping the same showdown is going to happen here.
All right. Well, I think it's it. What about you?
I'm really not sure. I hope it's going to be a good match. Yeah, Denial, I'm kind of rooting for them. But yeah, I saw some good stuff too. Like, I got to agree. They were really impressive, like individually. Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of communications, they were pretty impressive. Their timing were impeccable,
too.
and like they were really well prepared. That being said, we could be surprised because, like you said, like both of the matches that finished the first series were pretty impressive and pretty close.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm just sad that the French teams were eliminated.
Right?
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, it would have been cool to have a Europe versus North America finals, but maybe next time. This time around, we're gonna check it out and see who wins. Who is the American team that is gonna take our Xbox finals. Thank you so much, guys, for sitting
Thank you
down
very
with me
much.
for
Thank
this
you
for having
panel. Thank you, guys, the community, so much for tuning in. We've never had so much viewers, nor so many players tuning in one day. So it's a really good moment to be a dev today.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you so much, and hope you enjoyed the grand finals.
Thank you, guys.